Hey!
Hello.
Happy Monday, everybody!
Happy Monday.
It's us. It's your friends, Morgan and Adam with the Dungeon Cooldown. We're so happy to be here. It's your companion show to the Dungeon Run. You know what we're doing. My cameras were being a little weird right before we started. Just a little KLC followed you. Carrie Lee Cartwright, it took you this long to follow our channel. I'm guessing that Carrie just created that Twitch account about 5 minutes ago. So Carrie is what you call not very online. So anyway,
she doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to be.
Listen, ... she says. Yes, we're so happy to see you folks. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm sorry if I look a little weird and angelic, kind of. Angel Devilson, I'm coming for your job. Just kidding. Yeah, welcome. So we're here. We had last week off, if you didn't know. If you missed it in the Discord and other places, after almost 3 years, I finally caught COVID. But I am okay. As you can see, I'm feeling all right. I'm 90% myself. Still testing positive, but I've been through a full round of Paxlovid. My mouth only tastes like metal at this point. But for the most part, I'm pretty good. Adam, how are you doing, dude? This is a big week in Adam's life.
It's a lot going on. It's a lot. It's good.
What's happening on Saturday, Adam? This coming?
I'm getting married on Saturday.
Adam
everybody.
Slemmon's getting married! Yay!
Yeah. That's what you'll notice. Paint on my hands is from various art projects to make the wedding all the more, artisanal.
I was like, painting, not a normal groom thing in the days leading up, but sure.
Thank you, Raven Queen.
So exciting. By the way, we see all you here in chat. Raven Queen's here. Good to see you. Jim Whitted, Angel, of course, and I saw Goofus McDorkle and other folks. Thank you, folks. We love you. We appreciate you all being here. Dungeon Speedrun, how are you? But yeah, if you can't tell, I'm still in isolation. This is what you see is I've barely left this room in about 6 days. But yes, but my wife has not caught it, so we are feeling full success in isolation, and my cats are healthy. Everything's fine. I'm fine. An anonymous gifter gave just little KLC a subscription. See, isn't that nice? Carrie, this is what happens when you sign up for Twitch and join us in chat. Our community is so amazing. We love you all. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it. We're here to answer your questions, talk to each other about all the goings on, talk about so much. Adam, I've been catching up on literally like every TV show over the last 6 days. This is why. So yeah, I'm feeling all right at this point, and I'm bored. So when people were like, should we do a cooldown today? And I was sort of like, I'll do it. Please let me. And Adam was like, either Adam will really want to do it or he'll say, no, get away from me. And
that's just, it was like escape. It was like I'm painting a sign and Morgan's texting me and I'm like, oh yeah, let's do something let's do that.
Please let me talk D&D for a little bit.
Anything.
How's the wedding prep going? You feeling good? How's your seating chart?
No, it's actually the seating chart went really smooth.
Amazing.
Like, how people really like fret and worry about the seating chart. We got ours done in like 30 minutes. We were very proud of ourselves.
Perfect. It helps to have cool families.
yeah. I don't know if we have cool families. We just have really good number of peoples to sit at tables. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, it's like perfect. This many people, they can all sit together over here. So it worked out.
Yeah, it's not about the coolness factor. It's about you have families that can be easily divisible by 5.
Exactly. Yep.
You're like, well done, everybody. Good job. How big of a wedding we talking here? How many people?
Like 105. So
okay.
It's big, but it's not ridiculous.
That's big for LA, I will say.
Well, right.
That's medium size for LA. I was gonna say.
Yeah. Back where I'm from, it's small. Like my typical family weddings are like 300, 400. So it's nice and petite for a typical Slemon affair. So which is nice.
A typical Slemon affair. I love it. sounds like a perfect, new movie coming to you. Yeah, no, our wedding was about 80 people, and it was just right. It wasn't packed, but it was, just the good amount of people. So,
how long have you and Crystal been married?
Oh my gosh, we are about to sell. Wow, that's a very good question, actually, because almost 10 years next month.
Okay, good. All right, good. He remembered. That was like,
no.
Oh, no.
February of 2013. We were married. Yes, we've been together much longer. We actually got engaged her first year of law school.
Oh, nice.
And law school is going to law school and planning a wedding at the same time are things that are cannot happen. And so we were like, we're engaged. Everybody calm down. It's going to be a second.
Yeah, we got engaged right before the pandemic decided to shut everything down. So we were like, well, I guess we're engaged for a while is the plan.
You've been living together for a while before, you and Mandy, by the way. I don't know if we've ever talked about your betrothed's name.
It's true. Yeah, her name is Mandy. Yes, we have been living together. What's funny is we did all of the adult things right in a row right before pandemic hit us, because we got engaged, then we bought a house, and then the pandemic locked us in said house, which is like it's not ancient, that's ridiculous, because Europe has houses that are hundreds of years old. Our house is from the 1940s, where it's like
ancient in LA standards. Sure.
Ancient in LA, yeah. So like in the first month, the water main blew. The electrical went sideways.
No.
It was just, it's a bunch of that stuff. Yeah.
It was the world telling you that you think you're ready for adult. You think you're ready for full adulting.
It's a lap.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of life in a short term.
Yeah.
So I've been doing. We'll get to D&D in a second, but I just have a lot of thoughts that I need to share. Actually,
please pontificate.
One of the first things that, speaking of D&D, I've been catching up on is the new season of the Critical Role animated series on Amazon. Once again, is awesome. If you haven't seen season 1, I highly recommend it. And they just started season 2. I didn't know I'd like it. I'm not a big anime guy. I enjoy Critical Role. They're wonderful. Sure. But I didn't know. I'm not a big anime guy, or I don't watch a lot of what you would consider adult cartoons. I don't dislike them. I'm just not. I'm not very into the genre. Certainly as much as some.
Sure.
And
I'm actually. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm actually a big fan of some cartoons and animes.
Awesome.
But like they're much more artsy. Like for instance, I don't know if you've seen Primal on HBO Max.
I've heard of it. I've heard very good
oh
things.
My god, it's amazing. It's absolutely outstanding. And then you got it's the same guy who did he do Samurai Jack?
Sounds
familiar. I can't remember.
Very possible.
But anyway, like and oh god, what was the name of that anime? It was French studio based on League of Legends.
Arcane.
Come on, Chad, help me out. Arcane.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah, I've heard.
That was amazing.
I've heard. I have so much TV to watch.
Right.
And there are things that I will not be able to get my wife to watch, and these are all of them. But go ahead.
It's funny because like I'm a huge D&D guy. I tried to get into the Critical Role TV show, and I don't know, it just wasn't for me. It felt like a little too. Yeah, it just wasn't for me, and I really literally think it's not aimed at me. I
was very surprised by it. I was like, this feels like it shouldn't work, and yet to me it still did, and I can't blame for those that it wasn't for, because it rides a super weird tonal line, like of how dark and it gets, and violent and scary and weird, and then hilarious. It's not for kids at all. Don't let your kids watch it. Jim Whitted says watch Castlevania, by the way.
I've heard amazing things about, and Taparto's Doom Patrol is fantastic.
Yes.
Agreed.
I'm way behind on Doom Patrol.
I think the thing for me with the Critical Role series is it's a giant game of who can say the word banana the loudest. In that they're doing, I can't say the actual word.
I see what you mean. Yes,
family friendly show
for sure.
But it's like
Yes.
But it's a matter of like, hey, I know I just did this really extreme thing, be it either in violence or in like kind of oftentimes like blue humor.
Yes.
And then they'll just like, and they'll have to raise the stakes. So they're like, well, I can yell banana louder than that, and then I can yell banana louder than that, and I'm just like, I get it, guys. Everyone can yell banana. You know what I mean? let's
I understand.
That's just me.
No, I see that. No, and that's I think that's a fine, even-handed review. Is it's not for everyone for sure. I'm right.
enjoying
the chaos of it for now. The animation is quite lovely, and there's a lot of big, huge dragons in season 2 so far. So that's not spoiler.
Sure. Dude, I'm telling you, if you want to see some amazing animation, check out Arcane. Like that French studio.
I've got to.
I can't remember its name. If anyone in chat knows the name of the French studio that did Arcane, but dude, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
Dungeon
so gorgeous.
Dungeon Speedrun says, yeah, it made me appreciate TDR's family friendliness. Yeah.
Accurate statement.
Accurate statement. I love Critical Role. I'm friendly with some of them, and watch it regularly. And there are some times where I'm like, it wouldn't be that hard for you guys to go family friendly. Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
And then they'll have an entire 10-minute run on just the filthiest thing. They're like,
right.
And I love that they stayed that authentic version of themselves, which was always,
and that's just it, right? Like their chemistry and their talent, like you can't argue that.
Right.
You can't argue and that shines through. And yeah, that's part of it. Like that's just part of it. It's just not my sense of humor.
And speaking for us, and this I think works. Thanks, Hype Goblin. Thanks, Javier Solomon. Nice to see you. Speaking for us, as people who try to keep to that PG-13, which is apropos because you did drop the F-bomb a couple episodes ago.
I did.
It happens.
Mistakes were made.
Hey, dude, it happens. Well, and you had.
That was a rough.
Oh, in the middle of one of the most stressful nights of D&D of my life.
Seriously, man, that just did not go well at all.
Yeah, it was tough. But we, for me, I think when mine finally happened, which was like after 110 or 113 episodes or something like that, it was so thrown out. It was so stupid. You got a good one. You got just like mine was so dumb where it was late in the episode. We were it was goofing around, and I just say, it's really like effing this. And I was like, it was like, whoa, where did that come from?
What was that? Remember when there was that big like controversial thing that was going to happen where someone was going to swear on NYPD Blue? And it was huge because this is back in like
Dennis
the
Franz.
early that's what it was.
We're seriously dating ourselves, 90s. But I love this. Go ahead.
Yeah, here we go. Like, okay, all you young people at home,
so
you couldn't swear. There's a show called NYPD Blue. Yeah, it's a cop show.
20 million people would watch television shows.
Yeah, right.
At the same time, so it was big.
No
deal.
one would swear.
That's right.
One would swear. So they'd be on these shows, and then there was this leak happened where someone was gonna say, SH blank on the TV, on cable, on network TV, and everybody freaked out, and they all tuned in, like huge ratings for the show. It's an hour-long procedural. Everybody's watching. They're waiting. And at the end, it was something as simple as like, oh, it's raining outside. Ain't that some blank? And like that was, I was like, wait, what? Why did you hype up so much? Why, when that was the swear?
I appreciate it though, because literally it's almost showing the mirror back at the audience of like, this is what you idiots were excited about.
Exactly.
This is what you wanted. You tuned in for this. Congrats, we got you. Because you wanted to see somebody say the S word on national television.
Hey, Jess and Angel Devinson are like, have they talked about the show yet?
No.
No, we haven't.
No. Okay, so quickly, Jess, we knew this was. I've been in isolation for a week. We knew this was going to be a random one. Wait a minute. Is Jessica Lynn Parsons trying to get me back on track?
Yep.
I love you. I'm kidding. We are, I will quickly say, we are going to do a show this Wednesday night where I've got some really fun ideas. It's not going to be episode 18. I am still testing positive. I'm feeling much better, but I should not be at the table with everybody. And episode 17 was so amazing and climactic that we really wanted to give it its due. So we didn't want to stick me on an iPad or just have Val go missing. So we are holding episode 18, but we are going to have something really fun for this week. So be on the lookout for that. Yes, DePartos, you won't miss 18 live. No, episode 17, and we've seen all your comments of like, whoa, this was bananas. Like, yeah, it's might be my favorite episode of the campaign so far, just in terms of all that happened, and Adam rolled well for once, and
yeah, because there was no real combat involved. As soon as, I wasn't in life-threatening situations.
You broke out of that charm like immediately. It was beautiful.
I did break out of that charm
at disadvantage. Like,
that's true.
Boom.
It's true.
That was
huge.
Actually, that was
I was kind of
small turning point of the fight at the beginning, that, like, not to get glossed over.
I was kind of looking forward to continuing to try and trick Otto into giving me the spine, though.
We just posted that clip on TikTok and YouTube of you going like, "He'll kill us anyway." Yes. What? No.
Oh.
What?
Oh no! I'm not charmed.
That's not what I said.
That's right, Fail Waffle. You did give me luck by giving me disadvantage. Thank you so much.
We've discovered Adam. The trick to getting Adam to roll well is to have him roll at disadvantage, and then he'll roll 19s and 18s. It's just done and done. Incredible. Yeah. So be on the lookout. We'll be announcing shortly that we are going to be doing something fun for this Wednesday night. But yeah.
I mean, we do, now that we've started talking about the episode, I mean,
yeah.
How does Val feel about the contract he's just signed?
Okay.
And, on the line next to Saint?
I definitely want us to talk about this in character too, but I think it was so many things. One, it was Val seeing Saint's problem so reflecting his own, and even though it is easy to dismiss, we'll be there in 3 days. She almost died, or she had died, and literally there was nothing. And I think Val is starting to see in Saint a lot of things. I think he's getting very connected to her in ways that he probably isn't even fully aware of yet, because she was one of the first people, very much so, to really look at him and see him for the person he wants to be, not even the person that he really thinks he is. And so he saw her, this person who has reflected such good in him, desperate and needing to get back to her sister, which, as I said in the episode, was the only thing that mattered to her before all of this. We all got whisked away into this. And so, and the cost, and this is the moment that I'll regret saying later. The cost seemed less bad, because it's just a 5th level spell. Val knows that. Val, like I even said, it's like, what, it's a teleportation circle? All right, that's not. I'm not. It's actually the cost seems less than bringing Cristobal back.
Well, yes, but you don't know what the cost is.
I don't.
But see that, and like I hear you.
There's absolutely, you're absolutely right. But go ahead.
And it's interesting for Cristobal, because Cristobal, when he committed to the favor for Saint, at that moment he saw Saint dying in front of him.
Right.
And so he made that call to be like a favor, because he didn't want to give Faustin control over him, but like in terms of long term, because he knows about all that. But so he was like, a favor, like this is drastic, sure, but it makes sense, and she already committed to bringing him back to life, so it tracked for him. And so that's why he was so. But then he saw what the favor required of him, and he's like, "Oh my God, I totally what's it called? Estimated what this was going to be.
Yeah.
Underestimated. Thank you. Underestimated what it was going to be." And so when you both put your names on the line, and it's like Cristobal is just shaking in his boots. Yeah. Shaking in his boots.
Don't get me wrong, there is a side of this that is me a little bit playing Val's low wisdom score.
Okay.
That I'm enjoying and being kind of impulsive.
Sure.
Which is fun. I honestly, campaign 1, playing a warlock who also has I had a 14 wisdom it's a recipe for internal torment.
Sure.
Because like, you know, I'm not hardcore, you must play your stats, but I also really like taking the suggestion as a character and trying to continue using them as a reminder to go like, well, hang on, your guy's not that smart. You know, I do enjoy doing that, or your guy's not that charismatic. And
sure.
So knowing it was very easy for me to go, James sees the riskiness of what he's doing and he's fully aware of it, and he's guilt-ridden, and it's just like he's fully aware that all this is a terrible idea, you know. And Val probably knows there's something coming for him. That probably knows he's something coming for him, but I'm sorry, I'm seeing Jess talking about The Last of Us in chat. Jessica, don't spoil anything. I'm behind.
No spoilers.
I'm watching all the rest of television. I haven't gotten to The Last of Us yet. But as we, it's Val and Saint seeing this moment. There was an emotional kind of like all right, let's do it. And
totally.
And I don't know, man. But I was fascinated by your response and watching it all go down and seeing some things revealed. Let me ask you something that you don't have to answer.
Sure.
When did Failshin ask you for the spine? Was that what happened when you had a secret room when you left the house when you left the cabin when we were with Hops and Barley?
Yes.
And that was Failshin outside?
Yep.
Okay.
And that was when he was like calling in a favor, bring me the spine.
Okay. Fascinating. What the heck?
And it's gonna be go ahead.
No, what the heck is the spine?
Well, I mean, it's a good question, but I mean, it obviously fits together with the rib that we have, right, and the skull that we have, and
we haven't touched the rib. Maybe you can identify the rib. Maybe the rib is a little... No, come on!
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
I'll tell you right now, like, it's gonna be hard to get Cristobal to start playing with this. Like, and I've said this before, it's like, yeah, Cristobal is an academic when it comes to magic, and everything that he has experienced on the North Island, none of it has to do with academics. Right. And it's all in his eyes wild
and divine sometimes too, but yes. Yeah.
And so like the first magic user I truly experienced on the island that wasn't like faith-based was Otto, who has no grasp or control of their magic. Is the idea, and they have no idea where it came from, and that's terrifying. Like Cristobal has just time and again, like Adam as the player has been like, okay, Cristobal, he's going to find strength here, or he'll find strength here, or he'll find courage here. And every time he takes a step, he gets his legs cut out from under him by just the circumstances. And that's not a bad thing. No. It's interesting for character growth, but it's really tough, especially when I know there is a lot of plot aspects that do build around these elements. And I do have some plans for helping get them identified. I'm not going to, like, metagame Adam will not just allow these magical items to sit unwarranted, used, or discovered in our bags.
For sure.
But yeah, like it's especially after like his first time trying to identify one of these massive relics, he went blind.
Yeah, right.
Passed out,
but also got dark vision.
It's like being like, oh, don't, oh yeah, I mean, you lost the use of your legs, and now you get a handicap sticker. You know, it's like that's not an even trade-off, bro. It's not.
And they punished you for the depth perception too, which sucked.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I get it. I mean, that's absolutely a game mechanic that should work. That should be a thing. I get that, but yeah, that sucked. Yeah, man. Well, and now, so Otto. None of us know that Otto grabbed Failshin's bag.
Oh yeah, which I'm assuming out of game is a bag of holding.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that. Well, I don't know if that's the case. We
saw he took the spine and put it behind his back or something, and then when Otto went frisking him, basically, wasn't there, but the bag was. So it looks like a small hand, like waist fanny pack, you know. It's a fanny pack of holding.
It's one of Carrie's fanny packs. That's what Phaeocian's wearing.
Dave the Angry Boomer says, "I died when Octavius gave up the spine." I know.
Oh, right.
But then maybe got it right back.
I don't know. Like Dave, me too. I was, Criswell did not know what was going to happen there. He expected there to be a little more either chastisement from the group, or, like, are we going to fight Phaeocian to keep the spine? And then Octavius is like, here you go. And I'm like, wait, what? Who? Huh? And then
Serena had a plan. Though that sleight of hand check was maybe one of the riskiest roles in our entire campaign so far.
Well, she came up to me afterwards and she was like, I should steal stuff more often. I'm like, yeah, you should.
Yeah, you really should.
You have like plus 33 or something like that.
The higher level rogues just gets nuts. So that was one of my favorite things about episode 17 is the number of massively just like fork in the road moments that there were. Because there were things about that fight. So we were talking about, we were referring to Grimora as a god.
Right.
I, Morgan, and Val even a little bit know that's not true. And there was something about, if we'd been full strength, if we hadn't gotten the riddle wrong, and if that force card hadn't, so if we hadn't walked into that fight double cursed, could we have taken out Capre almost definitely, Grimora, like both of them? Could we have taken one or both of them out if we were full strength? Maybe.
So, I don't know. So here's the issue with me with Capre, and I'd love to know what chat thinks about this, because, like, very clearly, she was cursed somehow. I don't know exactly what, right?
Feels like vampirism.
Vampirism, sure, but like, is that what's going to give her a tentacle for an arm? I mean, maybe that's part of her wild shape. I don't know.
But the fangs
she also,
and the regeneration and that stuff, that feels like.
But she also seems cognizant of what she's doing.
Yes.
Right, and also she seems enamored to Grimora, which is fine. But would that mean Grimora?
So.
Right.
Yeah.
But does that also mean Grimora is vampiric in nature? Like it's like I have all these questions, and so going back to your original question, could we have taken them? I don't know if we could, because I don't know how powerful Grimora truly is. Like, all we've seen Grimora do is shoot javelin arrows at us and charm me, and then whip her hair back and forth.
Whip her hair. She was my hair back and forth. She whips her hair back and forth.
But clearly there's more to her, and I don't know. I don't know if we were in the. I think the other thing true is, and Jared and Ron are not pulling punches combat wise. Like,
hang on, I do need to say the Bulb Dim had mentioned that just not pawned off the fruitcake would have been another big thing, and Jessica has responded.
Ooh.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of the fruitcake on my butt. Says Jessica Lynn Parsons, 12:38 p.m. Pacific time, Monday, January 23rd, 2023.
That is canon. It's now canon. Jessica Lynn Parsons has a fruitcake on her butt.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I had to interrupt you for that, please.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's actually a lot of great stuff being said in chat that I wanted to go back and talk about.
Jess and Carrie are here. Join us Mondays during the cooldown if you're watching the VOD. We love chatting here.
Oh, here we go. Chuckles McPooty. First of all, great name.
Great.
So question for y'all, Session 0. Are you all from the same place in your Session 0, or did you get snatched into this place from different multiverse material planes?
Hey, you can watch our Session 0's Chuckles McPooty. They're on our YouTube. You go all the way back pre-Session 1. But
I feel like he knows that, and he's asking if we think we're all from the same place.
What do you mean?
Well, like, for instance, technically you and I knew of each other,
yes,
right? Prior to
you knew of me, I probably did.
I knew of you, right? Before, but personal. No one else knew each other,
right?
So, is it possible we're from different planes of existence?
I think in the case of you and I, that's not true, because we know that you rolled a successful history check and you had heard of me and what had happened to my broken up engagement. So
that's true.
That's not true. But in terms of the others, I mean, everything's fair game, right?
I mean, we also don't know what time it is. Like, how much
keeps
time
bringing
has
up
passed.
this time thing.
Because I mean, think about it. We're talking about like the Animus gave the intelligence to animals, right?
Yeah.
And how long ago did that happen? We don't know.
Over about 300 years.
About 300 years ago, right?
I think.
But they have said multiple times, multiple incarnations of the Stormborn have been, like, have we been warped back in time? You know what I mean? And like a similar set of situations or occurrences you know what I mean? Like back then, and we were a set of the Stormborn. There were like, there's so many possibilities there. And, you know, half of which, Chuckles McCooty, I had not even considered until you said what you said, but that's a really interesting thing to think about.
Wait, I'm sorry. Chat is... Oh, Jessica. Jessica is now talking about a Patreon contest, and we get enough patrons, Jessica will get a tattoo of the fruitcake on her butt.
Lovely.
Jessica Lynn Parsons, as your co-worker and fellow creator of the Dungeon Run, you go girl as your friend. Be careful.
Well, also, would someone would have to design the fruitcake, right? Like, do you have
I
artwork?
bet who else Elliot could draw a fantastic fruitcake.
Sure. Because I mean, that could be its own competition, Jess. If you're thinking about it, like, not only are they gonna pay to get a fruitcake on your butt, but who gets to design the fruitcake is its own. You know what I mean?
Oh wait, Jessica's already posted a fruitcake image. I'm sorry.
Oh,
there's one here in chat.
Oh, I see. Let me see.
Hang on. I gotta find it. I have to. Jessica says she's not joking.
That's a pretty fun.
Oh my god, that's adorable. Nobody likes me. Oh, it is an adorable smiling fruitcake with cherries and everything, and it says in beautiful letters underneath, "Nobody likes me."
It's so happy about it, though.
Oh boy, we've mentioned a lot about Dungeon Run tattoos, and boy, if that's the one that Jessica finally gets, we're like, let's get a Phoenix tattoo from Campaign 1. Oh no. I think, well, yeah, there's the metagaming thing of the fact that when I used Enervating Breath and incapacitated Grimora at the top of the fight, I was like, this isn't going to work because the DC, because it's based on my Constitution, and the curse had knocked my Constitution way down, so the DC was like an 11. And I was like, this isn't going to work, but it's a home run swing. Let's try and do something, because I don't think stabbing her is going to do anything. And it worked. And part of me was definitely like, oh, she's going to Legendary Resistance this. And then she didn't. And Morgan, the player, went, oh, we could kill this. We could kill this B word.
I don't know. It's very possible Jared and Ron saw the state we were in and were like, know what? Maybe we don't make her legendarily resistant to this. Gives them a break.
I said it during the game, but if I hadn't incapacitated her, if I had taken I took one arrow. If I had taken another arrow, it almost definitely would have knocked me unconscious.
Sure.
Even with the healing that Saint gave us. Because I was at like 13 hit points as I was running out of there, and those arrows were doing at least 15 to 17 a hit.
Oh, and those what are they called? The bird.
The Sphinxes.
The Sphinxes. Like, they were hitting for stupid amounts of damage. Forget the fact that I had double damage applied to me when I got hit by them, but yeah, they were hitting super hard.
Yeah. Tapardo says legendary resistance bosses with a level 5 to 6 party is rough. Jeff did it to us in campaign 1, I believe. I forget.
And I wouldn't call Ron and Jared
not
soft.
Rough.
Yeah, soft DMs.
Rough is their MO.
Right.
That's true. But no, I mean, it was... Yeah, there were so many things. This going back to Saint real quick, too. This is the other thing that I notice... I've noticed now through 2 campaigns, and something I really enjoy, and I think you can speak to this as well, too, is that what it does to your character the first time you either die or come very close to dying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Saint having that moment near the end of the episode is a real, like, version of that, where suddenly all your stakes are ratcheted super high, which is one way to go about it. I guess I could see with other characters it might lower some characters' stakes, but no, it's suddenly like, hey, I might die out here. I gotta get done what I need to get done right now. James had it in campaign 1. I had 2 straight fights or 3 straight fights where things went bad for me, or I barely survived by the skin of my teeth. And it was around episode 30 or 31. And I just started giving up backstory secrets because I was like, look, I'm keeping things secret, and I realized, I think I said it at the time, I realized that there are things that if they go to my grave with me, that's bad. So I need to tell some people this stuff. And yeah. So that is a fascinating thing for me in roleplay, of getting to roleplay that real face-to-face with mortality that happens to each of the characters at some point, and what that does to you.
Sure.
It's really interesting, and it's
sure.
really, it tends to accelerate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that going into... I think a lot of it also depends on your characters living their life prior to that experience, right? Because it's... I know, for instance, when Cristobal bit it the first time, he was kind of directionless and lacking in a POV. Not Adam the player, Cristobal the character.
Yeah.
Which is what made his death so interesting and transformative for him. And I agree with you. I think you come out of it with this greater intention, this need to drive forward towards what, is based entirely on your character, obviously. And like, for instance, with Jess and her connection with her sister, like, she's like, now, have to do this now. I'm also really curious, and I'm saying this because I haven't watched the Secret Room with Jess yet as an editor, what went down in the Secret Room, because it's like, super interesting, coming out of there with her wings and her...
Right.
I mean, all of which will inform, I'm sure, Jess's decisions moving forward.
Are you enjoying, because I have to say, so this role that you've taken on, we haven't talked about this yet, this role that you've taken on where you are cutting down the dungeon rush for us as well, and I help you with that, but I never watch the Secret Rooms.
Sure.
But are you enjoying, normally we like to, we've enjoyed keeping it out of our purview, like keeping, basically, like, I'm not gonna know that as the performer, and we'll see what happens. Are you enjoying the non-metagamey aspect of that, and kind of having to know that you don't know certain things, or is it like a secret that you wish you didn't have sometimes?
No, I mean, I never mind having the secret. I think what I really enjoy as a player is seeing how everyone deals with their secret rooms.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, there are people who have been completely upfront and straightforward about their secret
Just
rooms.
open with everything. Yep.
There are people who have not. And how much of that is a decision they're making? How much of that is, in all honesty, like, did they forget some of it? Like, so watching it all on the screen multiple times because I'm editing it, and then seeing how people play it is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And I really love that. I really love the fact that Adam knows something Cristobal does not, and I will not let that affect how I play. It's that's going to be super fun for me moving forward.
People keep playing with or mentioning and talking about, and chats mentioned it a bunch, this idea of time travel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny. I had not thought of it, and Val certainly hasn't thought of it. Like what, it's kind of that doesn't feel. So we're about to reach the Hanging Gardens, and I think if there is any of that, it will be that moment of us going recognizable to Saint, going to a place recognizable to Saint, and if something is really different, she will be able to say, like, what the heck, when, what's happening.
Sure, totally.
And I don't know, man. I think there's about to be some things that might blow our minds. But I have no idea. I think you raise the interesting point. So yeah, both Val and Cristobal being from Mechas, being from the South Island, it's weird that it would seem that when we left our homes, when we were taken away, it would seem that the corruption had started to reach us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you knew about me. Okay, so we know that we were probably
Right.
in the same time. I mentioned this isn't spoilery stuff. Val's family's crops were starting to do okay, but his home was in a state of wreckage because apparently of suffered of some things that Val never got all the full details on.
Mm-hmm.
So did we go back to stop it from the source? Because it's now spread so far, as Cristobal himself said, that if it spread, there's nothing to stop it from spreading. So if it spreads, it's all going bad. And so are we from the future? Are we from the future?
I mean, or because we don't actually know where it's spreading from.
Right.
We don't have a source.
Nope.
It could be have started on the South Island and now it's just reached the North Island. So what if we're from the past?
You're right.
Don't know.
I didn't even think
like
about
all
that.
these really fun ideas, and
it's funny because
interesting.
because the South Island feels more advanced in a weird way. So I was like, we must be more in the future. And now that we're in this more primal, weird place, we're in the past. But you're right; it could absolutely be flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
Yes, 100%.
But it's funny because one of the things that exists if I cast my tower spell is there's I can make the top room like an observatory. And I've debated in, a metagaming style to be like, if I could come up with a reason to create that top floor room and be up there, I could casually look at the stars and see time and place and all of that, or calculate it out.
You know who'd be good for that? Ursula.
Ursula would be very good for that. Unfortunately, she's off with her friends, with an engineer and birds and good times.
And a caked up sea elf.
Seriously, right?
Oh God! Please tell me, everybody, that you've watched the Epic Adventures of Ursula Scratch. It's so much fun. Katie is coming, friends. Katie is coming. We're working on it.
Tapardos asked in the chat, how much party gold do you all have? First time to maybe shop. None? Do we have any gold?
I think Val's probably got some spare change on him.
Yeah, I mean...
Otto has a bag of rocks, which are like valuable gems. I don't know if he'll be giving them up for anything.
Cristobal has some very expensive clothing that he could mend and perhaps sell, but I don't know if he would do that because then what would he wear? Yeah, I don't know if we. I mean, we definitely have items of worth.
This is so
that goes
funny.
Without saying.
Because, by the way, that drove Jared insane in Campaign 1, is we would never get gold.
Oh, really?
Oh my god. It drove him nuts. Because we had magic items up the wazoo, but we would never get gold. And then it became a constant force of good, force of evil thing, where we would get gold and someone would get taken away, and we would get a lot of it, and then we're like, oh, get some taken away. And I think Jeff hated shopping episodes. Shopping episodes can be fun.
As someone who's known Jared for a very long time and who has played multiple MMORPGs with Jared, Jared loves going into a town and talking to every NPC and talking to every shopkeep and then going to the competing shopkeep to see if he can get a better deal on garlic or whatever it is. Like, that's just Jared's MO. He loves it. He loves it. It's his favorite part of the game. And knowing Jared,
Carrie says Coco had a ton of leaves. When are leaves going to be taken seriously as currency? Are they Fey leaves? Maybe we can start a Fey leaf business.
Carrie, you're basically Bitcoin. You're Bitcoin trying to decentralize the government.
Trying to start a new currency. She's like, when are we going to get serious about leaves as a new form of non-fungible tokens? Oh God. Anyway. What were you going to say about Jared? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. It's just like, even when we were planning, when we planned trips in the past, Jared's favorite thing to do is to scour the internet for deals and find, the best way to do things. Yeah, that's his thing. So it does not surprise me at all that he was like, when do we get to go shopping?
This tracks with what I know about Jared Kajak. our beloved friend, Jared Kajak. I mean, he is a rogue at heart and at the table.
And Jim Witt had said we don't really need gold as long as we have a rogue, and we have one heck of a rogue in Otto.
So let's get back to this. That bag that Otto stole from Failshin. And we are able to get through that teleportation circle and just get out of town, so to speak. That could be huge.
Could. It might have everything you guys traded away in it. Although, knowing Jared, he will not let that be the case. But
I don't know. He's got a bunch of crates and boxes, right? I don't know about that. But I mean, well, it could be a way to negotiate out of our favor, or at least, make our favor a little better. It was like,
so do you think Failshin won't come after his bag in a violent way?
Maybe.
Because I don't see him being like, "You got me. All right. Let's trade for my stuff back."
Failshin is the scariest character we've encountered.
Because he's true neutral.
True
He
neutral.
Is true neutral.
Unknowably powerful.
Yep.
Seems to be everywhere and have been everywhere. Has knows about the Feywild. Just seems to know all this stuff. And you're like, what the heck are you?
Yep.
And
because he's obviously operating with his own agenda that we do not know what it is.
Jess says maybe he's Queen Mab. OMG. Maybe. I don't know. And part of me thinks he's another player, but he just, as a good merchant, he just has his fingers in all the pies.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is he at the last thing asked Carrie or asked Coco for their worms? So if they were Queen Mab, I would imagine they wouldn't need those worms back.
Or unless he was testing them.
Maybe. That's a good point. Could have been testing.
I don't know. I think Failshin might just be a chaotic player. I think someone said that the true neutral is so unpredictable. Chuckles McBooty did. However, though, Val, in a way, I think it's unpredictable because Val, in a way, it's better. It's when you're like on the other side of the table against people, it's at least better to know what your other person wants. where it was like, once we knew Gamora really wanted the spine, that gave us something, because it gave Otto the ability to go like, you want this spine? Stay away or I'll break it. Now, it didn't work, but it was like, okay, we know something about you now, and we know what you want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Failshin.
I mean,
Failshin, I have no idea what he wants besides just to accumulate. Like,
sure.
What is Failshin's big deal? No idea.
Well, and everyone is assuming the reason he wants these things are for nefarious purposes.
Right. Could
but
be just to have and to barter for other things.
Or could be for good purposes.
Could be.
Could be. He may know things in, like, he is a true neutral character. That does not mean he is, chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily want the world to end. In fact, if he's a merchant, he's doing the safest bet possible. So that's going to make things good for him, right? So if the world's going to burn, which is what it sounds like Remora wants, for instance, at the moment. She wants the world to burn and start over again. Failshin doesn't want that, because that would mean he would go back to nothing.
Right. It was that when Carrie tried to roll an insight check on Failshin, basically it was like, I mean, it's almost, why bother? Because it's just sort of like, he's pretty transparent about just, is like, I want to gain. I want to come out of it's that gross, like, very 1980s greed thing, but even though he's much more charismatic than that, where it's like, I want to come out of every interaction having won.
Sure.
And he'll he doesn't have to come to you. He knows you will come to him. Ay, ay, ay. Melf's acid flashback says, I'm a little late to the party, but are these guys collecting the rest of Vecna? Oh, God. I hope not.
That'd be hilarious.
I hope not. No, there was something about the skull that said it. We got the idea that it was the pancreas of Vecna. Chuckles McBooty says, "Yeah, that's by episode 50. We're literally gathering like the gallbladder." No, just kidding. Gross. There was something that I have to go back, but when we originally found the skull, I believe we said it was dwarven-ish in
it was
size,
larger than the standard dwarven head.
It was not a human skull. It was not.
It was not. Yep, and then the ice giant started getting nasty, so the dwarf did that whole like, "Oh, you're not staying with your mom anymore," and then she burned his house down type of thing. And I don't know, that was my thought.
The astral dwarves and the ice giant had a war about something. I think Failshin could secretly be the BBEG. Possible?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Big Bad? Could be.
Maybe. I think he's a free agent. I think he's out there, true neutral, getting what he needs. He could be, and I certainly wouldn't want to fight him.
Right.
But
I mean,
no idea.
I don't know how this next game session is going to start. It could start with us being transported to, whatever, to the Hanging Gardens. It could be that we have some time.
People are saying the audio has gone weird. Hang on a second, folks. I'm sorry. No audio.
The whole video went out for me.
Why did that happen? Huh. Hang on a second, friends. Weird. What the heck? Why are you being such a jerk?
Angel Devilson, does that mean you can hear us when you refresh your page?
Are we back? Twitch, because the whole video... Okay, I'm not sure it was us. Yeah, I saw nothing change on my end. So... Is Twitch having them issues? All right, we look like we're back up now. No, it says now it says we're muted. The heck do you mean we're muted? One sec, friends. Huh. Don't know why. I blame Twitch, sends friends. Yeah, let's check YouTube, because we are live on YouTube at the moment. Are we still here?
I can
Oh,
hear you
there's
on
audio
YouTube,
all right
not on
on
Twitch.
the ads. It's just Twitch. Oh, all right.
Go to sign language.
Go to
wish I
YouTube,
did.
everybody. Head to our YouTube.
Yep.
We are live up on there. Thank you, Jess. We hear.
Thank you. Thank you, Chuckles. A little dance break.
Jessica Lynn Parsons always being our Janie on the spot for tech purposes. All right, we up. All right, cool. Anyway, friends, boy, my camera's so bad. I'm sorry, friends. This was my camera was being strange right before we started, so I had to switch to this less quality one, and my apologies. But yeah. Well, we only have a little bit of time left before we gotta let us go. But yeah. Okay, so we were saying that like Failshin could be the BBEG. It's true, but more so, it was I believe Jessica said that Saint was told that Grimora and Capre are lackeys to something bigger, possibly, and that certainly tracks with my worries as well.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. Like I was saying, at the beginning of this next episode, we might be instantly in Hanging Gardens, or we might still be hanging out with the ocean, which is an opportunity to gather information and, just not ask him for things, because he will not give us anything for free. That was my favorite thing when the carrier was trying to convince Memu just to for back rubs to protect us. But just to gather information. He speaks very ubiquitously, and it may be that Jared does not want to use him as a story device. But, have we asked Phaeocian, who has traveled all over the island, about the disease? Have we asked him about the cause of the disease? All these things. It's all a possibility.
If anybody would know, I mean, yeah, I'll go back and rewatch our first interaction to see what all we've asked him. He's been very evasive. He's been very so something tells me he's not going to just give up the ghost, so to speak.
Sure.
But also now that Otto has that bag, I mean, Serena and Otto might both be like, "Let's go. Can we go? We need to go."
Yep. I completely agree. I do think that it might be worth us trying to bargain information for information, is what I was going to say. Things like, I know what's happening on the South Island a little bit. So I'll tell you if you tell me what's going on up here. Maybe we can play around with that idea.
Fascinating. I like that idea. Yeah, I think so much is going to be revealed, and so much needs to be discussed within the party. There's so much. This is my notebook. And my notebook is filled with questions for our next session. I bought it when I was still playing James. If you can't tell, this is a very warlocky notebook that is now turned into a fightery notebook. Yeah, let's see. Grimora's not a god. If we'd been full strength, we could have taken her. That is one of those things. I said. We haven't talked about Otto's chaos magic and just getting larger out of nowhere.
That's going to be Cristobal's method towards identifying the skull and the rib and the spine. That's going to be... Otto is going to be his conduit for all of that.
Oh, God.
And it's...
Low-key, one of my favorite moments of last episode we haven't talked about at all was the labyrinth after we left. Talking to Saint and basically saying, "We were made for you." And then the beautiful sadness of the labyrinth sort of basically ceasing to be sentient after we left. That was
right, but that was awesome. At the same time, I was sitting there going, "What do you mean? Made for us to do what? No!"
Right.
Was it made to protect the spine? Is that the idea? To protect the spine for us until we get there, I guess? I don't know. So many questions.
Janasi Kwa is in Twitch chat. How are you? Janasi Kwa is an incredible TikTok creator, by the way. You got to check them out.
Cool.
Using puppets. Or not puppets. They're felt people. They're totally real.
Felt folk.
Felt folk. Yes. Yeah, check them out. But you've just come in for the end, friends. Oh, the audio is back, but sounds weird. Twitch is being wonky today. This is why also we stream on YouTube as well. But anyway, friends and loved ones, Adam, you're getting married on Saturday.
I am getting married on Saturday.
We love you. We're so excited for you.
Love you too. I can't wait to celebrate.
I know it's going to be incredible. As we talked about earlier, Wednesday night, be on the lookout shortly for an announcement from us what we're doing Wednesday night. It's going to be fun. It won't be episode 18. We're going to wait until we can all be back around the table for that, because as we just uncovered, there's so much to talk about. And that, you know, I don't want we were talking about like, well, maybe Morgan's face can be on an iPad or something like that, and we were all like, no, there's some big stuff. Like, let's give it its due. That was one of our most climactic episodes of the campaign so far. Let's not cheat it. So yeah, that was our creative decision. But never you mind. We are going to have a great time on Wednesday night, whatever we do. I promise. So be there or be squared. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/The Dungeon Run. There's always great stuff there. If you haven't seen Serena's cover page for the auto coloring book, it is so adorable. Check it out now. More pages are coming for that soon. We've got some cast secrets coming up this week, I believe, and we might have to get some new Slayer TPK going.
I would love to do that.
I mean, I know you got other business right now with your wedding, but once your wedding's over, can you do?
Of course. As soon as Ron gets me the images, I am down to clown.
Amazing. Perfect. There's another guy named Down to Clown, actually. No, just kidding.
That's true. I'm not down to clown.
You're not down to clown. Chuggles McPooty now wants a fruitcake butt cheek shirt. Boy, I don't know. That sounds like a terrible combination of things.
Seriously.
But we love you all. By the way, check out our sponsor, World Anvil. Again, I will say worldanvil.com, using our code, The Dungeon Run, getting 40% off yearly subscription. It's incredible stuff. I might stream later in a few days from now or something, playing around on World Anvil. It's super cool. Jessica is now saying 500 patrons, and she will get a fruitcake butt cheek tattoo. We'll talk to Jess about this first.
She's a grown woman, Morgan. She can make her own life decisions.
She is, and I love her for it. It's gonna be great. But yeah, we'll figure it out. And if this is real, we will 100% say it on Wednesday. All right, friends. This has been the Dungeon Cooldown. We love you, everybody. Thank you for being here. We'll see you soon. Anything else you want to say, Adam?
Thank you, everyone, for being you.
I know. Thank you for being you. Jess says she's Florence Pugh. Okay.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna get Midsommar up in here in a minute.
No, please don't. But thank you. Thank you for helping me cure my COVID boredom. We love you, friends.
Anytime.
Have a great rest of your Monday. Mwah.
Bye, guys.
Humankind. Be both.
Be both.
Bye-bye.
Bye.